AvePoint Elements is a hub where Elements partners can easily onboard their customers and manage their services and subscriptions. When logging into Elements, the first thing we see is the dashboard. On the dashboard, we get insights into how these services for our customers are operating. Starting off first with backup status. We can see backup status across the various cloud backup modules. Scrolling down, we get a big picture of the storage that's being consumed. For those customers using cloud backup for M365, we have the unusual activities analysis, what we also commonly refer to as our ransomware detection. For policies and insights, we have our policy monitor data and also high-risk information by customer. Links spread across the dashboard can help you easily investigate any issues that may have arisen. By clicking on the name of this customer, who is showing some cloud backup challenges, it takes me automatically over to the customer directory. Here, for this customer, I can scroll to see all the various products and subscriptions, including anything that might need some attention. And I get a quick view into any types of challenges that the system is detecting. So for instance, here we can see that auto discovery is finishing with exceptions for this customer. If you're familiar with our solutions, you know that the auto discovery is used to periodically go out and contact that customer's M365 tenant in order to catalog its various objects that can be backed up or managed through a solution like Policies and Insights. Hover over something that seems to be having a challenge will give us a peek into what's going on, and clicking More Details will actually take us directly into that customer's environment to try to take a look at whatever challenge is occurring. This is tremendously useful if you are managing a number of different customers. You certainly wouldn't want to, say, receive email notifications and have to log in and out. We can even view a storage report for that customer. Now, if I come back over here on the left and click Customer Directory to go into that view, rather than getting there from the dashboard and drilling down into any challenges that I might be encountering, I get directly to this page where I can see all of my different customers, and also the Onboard New Client dropdown at the top right. For those partners who sign up their own customers directly, this is a quick way for you to then onboard those customers and assign the services that they've licensed. So as an example, if they are cloud backup for Microsoft 365 customers, well, you can enter global administrator credentials to connect the AvePoint Online Services cloud backup tenant to their M365 tenant to begin the backup setup. If they are backup for Google customers, backup for Salesforce customers, you can do the same. If the customer does not want to use credentials from their collaboration platform, a local account, that is one specific to AvePoint Online Services elements, can be created here. And then afterwards, again, you can connect it to their tenant. Also, for those customers who don't want to provide us any type of credentials, what we can do is we can generate an authorization link. And you do that by entering in the tenant owner's account email address and generate the authorization link, which we can send to them. Them then clicking on that link will authorize us to be able to connect to their tenant so we can again continue the service setup. Once that process is complete, your customer will be listed here where you can see their name and assign a logo if you need to. You can see the account that was used to onboard them. You get a description of the products, the status, including any issues. And again, clicking here drills us down to that same page we saw a moment ago. Country or region, a deeper peek into the services, including the ability to click on that and once again jump directly into that service for setup to perform certain actions like restores, for instance. And finally, a menu of options that allow me to start new services or add services that the customer doesn't already have, perhaps for trial or something newly licensed, all the way down to setting up my notification settings for that particular customer and their jobs. Some of those similar options are available over here on the Services button. And some of the reports are available from the report dropdown as well. The final thing that we've got listed here in our customer directory is the ability to apply a template. Applying templates to your customers is a great way to onboard them with similar settings that you have already previously applied to other existing customers. That is the new Nitro feature, which we will take a look at in a separate video. So as an example, let's say I need to onboard a new Microsoft 365 customer. So I'll click Microsoft 365 Global Admin. That will prompt me to enter the global admin credentials. Now, if you're wondering where I get these credentials from, typically your customer will not just give you existing credentials, but they could set up a new global admin account and provide you with those credentials to be able to connect, again, from Elements to their Microsoft 365 tenant. So I enter in the username and password that they would have created for me and provided to me, and we sign in. Here you can review all the various permissions that AvePoint Elements and its related services are going to require, and we click Accept. This brings me back to the Invite New Customer form, where we can enter the organization name and other location info, including which data center we are going to run the AvePoint Online services for that customer in. It is recommended that you use the data center closest to your customer's M365 tenant data center. Agree to the terms and conditions, and then select a preference for communication. If you are managing everything with AvePoint Online Services for your customer, you'll want to select that the customer doesn't want to hear from AvePoint. And at this point, I can invite and close, which would register that customer with AvePoint Online Services through Elements. And I could then begin adding the services, such as Cloud Backup. Or if I click Invite and Next, I can do that right now. We can see here, adding our services. So I'm going to select just the one here for our demonstration, and I'll click Next. Information on the subscription, and Next. And then finally a review, and if everything looks good, Finish will again register the customer for you in AvePoint Elements, but it will not kick off anything related to the services that you selected. I could also click on Finish and Start Service, which in this case would initiate the Cloud Backup service at this moment. I'm going to do that. Now, the reason why I made that choice was to show you that there is one additional page that you're going to get here. This is going to be some choices based once again on the services you selected. So since I selected Cloud Backup, it's asking me about auto discovery, going out and cataloging things like Teams and SharePoint sites and mailboxes. It's asking me, do we want to scan archive mailboxes? It's asking me about storage and about the backup status of everything that's available through Cloud Backup. Anywhere where you have a little arrow, you can click to view some additional information. If everything looks good, down at the bottom, we click Start. One final step that's going to be required in this process is to create what's called an app profile. The app profile is used to connect their AvePoint Online Services tenant to their Microsoft 365 tenant. This is going to be for authentication and communication between the two. This is required. So whether I do it now or whether I cancel out, save the registration of the customer in Elements and then do it later, that's entirely up to you. If I click on it now, it takes me over to the customer's AOS tenant to set up and complete that process. Once that is complete, we can head back to Elements where we can see that that new customer is now listed with one trial, which is going to be for Cloud Backup for Microsoft 365. Keep in mind at this point, the ability to do things like adding other services as necessary if you expand your support and business relationship with that customer. Thanks for watching this short video on the AvePoint Elements dashboard and customer directory.